Welcome back. Today I'm doing something a little bit risky, but I think it's going to be really helpful for those of you who like to wear hair extensions. One thing with extensions is that not everybody wants them for super length. I mean, if you want to wear every piece in a set of extensions and have beautiful long hair to your waist, that's great, but some people just want to wear a few pieces for volume and just keep their natural length. And most extension sets come pretty long, something like 18 to 22 inches long, and that's pretty long for most people. So today I'm going to show you how to cut your extensions at home without having to go to a salon and pay $90 to get a cut on hair that's not even yours. So if you're looking for an inexpensive way to customize your hair extensions, keep watching, and let's really hope I don't mess up, because this isn't the kind of video where I can say, oops, I don't like it, let's redo it. So fingers crossed, let's get started. So most extension sets come completely straight, so I've straightened my hair so that I get an accurate length, and today I'm using my Luxy Hair. These are the 160 grams, and it's the dark brown color. So what you're going to need is a brush. I like to use a large paddle brush and a little comb as well. I like using the ones with the pointy end just because you can separate hair really nicely. And of course, a pair of scissors. You don't have to buy expensive scissors to do this. You can just go to Rite Aid or any drugstore and just get scissors made for grooming. And then of course you'll need your extensions. Now one thing that's really important to do before you clip in your extensions and start cutting is to comb your hair completely or brush your hair completely, as well as the extensions, because you're going to be taking your hair and the extensions together and brushing them through. So the last thing you want to do is have tangles and then like rip the clip out of your head. So I'm going to start by just brushing my hair. Make sure it's completely tangle free. And you know, I'm actually a big fan of using extensions for volume because sadly I have like half the hair I used to. I used to have such full hair, and I think it's a combination of like age and over processing that has brought me to this. I'm kind of excited to see how my hair is going to look with some added volume. For some reason extensions tend to be tangly, so you want to make sure it's completely smoothed all the way through and super brushable. So I'm going to start clipping in my extensions, and I'm going to put in every single piece because even though I may not necessarily always wear every piece, I do want them all to be the same length. Now I'm going to skip the process of putting in every single piece. It's kind of boring, so if you want to see my technique for how to clip in extensions, you can watch my big sexy hair video. Okay, I'm almost done. I'm just going to show how to put on the very last piece. And one thing you want to be mindful of here is separating the hair really well. So that's why I like this sharp end on the comb, is because you can go through and really create a clean separation in your hairline, because especially when you're cutting extensions, you don't want the hair to be uncombable, I guess, if it's clipped in the wrong place. So you want to really separate, and I'm going to actually clip this over so it doesn't interfere. You want to make sure it's really nicely separated so that it doesn't overlap and like clip onto the hair up here. So I'm going to take my comb and back comb this a little bit so it's slightly ratted so that the clip stays nicely. And what I love about the Luxy extensions is that the clip has this like little rubber insert here that really helps the extension to stay in and like not slide off. So I'm just going to pop that in there. So the good news about cutting extensions at home is it's really not that scary, because you can actually do most of the cutting right down here in just like a straight cut, and then the rest of it probably right up here. I'll show you how to do that. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my fingers and just right above my ears go through, and this is going to be kind of a trial and error process because you're going to obviously run into the extension pieces. So wherever you find a path that's gonna allow you to, oh, there I go, separate nicely, go ahead and pick that out. So this hair that I've separated, I'm gonna go ahead and clip that up. So again, like any haircut, the longest layer of your hair is going to be cut just straight right down here. You notice sometimes when you're getting your hair cut, they cut like up here, but the bottom layer, the longest layer, is usually cut right down here at a straight angle. Moment of truth, here we go. So I'm going to comb the hair together, but again, just to be gentle on the extensions and the clip, I'm going to hold my hair closer to the root and comb my hair with the extension. Okay, so when I cut these, I am going to cut about 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit more longer than my natural hair for 2 reasons. One, I don't want to risk cutting my own hair with the extension because they're going to be so close to one another. And also, if, say, I miss a couple of trims and my hair gets a little bit longer, the extension isn't shorter than my hair. So it's better to leave the extension slightly longer than slightly shorter. So now that I've got it all combed perfectly straight, nothing out of place, I'm going to find my natural hair, and I just found it right there. So you want to make note of where your natural hair ends. You just have to be really careful to keep all the hairs completely straight. And what I like to do is take my 2 fingers and with the comb, because it's so much hair right now, I'm using the brush and not the comb. So I'm going to take the brush and start brushing downward and follow it with my fingers. So I'm keeping all the hair that I've just brushed completely straight and in line. So I'm going to follow that, follow that, follow that, and then again find that natural hair where it ends. Follow that all the way down. And just stop about 1 inch before the very end, and that's where you know where you have to cut. Here we go. Again, I can see my end right here at the very end, so I'm going to cut just about 1/2 inch longer than that. And of course, make sure you're doing this in a mirror. Great. I personally like it this way because it looks fuller at the bottom, but some people don't like it this way. Some people like it to end a little more softly and not so stark. So if that's the case, if you like it to end a little more softly, you can always go through, and actually I have to fix this one little part is too long. You can go through, and this doesn't have to be done in any particular way. Cut the hair this way, not perpendicular but parallel to it. And just doing this will kind of break that like straight edge. Now the other side. And then I'm just going to follow with my finger. I'm going to flip that over and cut just about halfway, I'm sorry, 1/2 inch longer than my natural hair. So you might notice that the camera is significantly higher than before, and there's a reason for that. With the hair up here, because I have layers, and I'm sure most of you do too, I'm going to cut the hair up here, if that makes any sense. Of course, you don't want your cut to look choppy. When you have layers, you obviously want them to look soft and tapered at the end, and there's a specific technique to get that look. So if you cut your hair, if you actually imagine your hair having absolutely no gravity, all of it would be standing up, right? It would kind of be like this big circle of just hair, you know, standing up from each follicle. So if you were to cut that hair up here at a straight angle, once it falls, it's going to be that nice soft tapered ending. If you notice ever when you're getting a haircut, if your stylist is combing the hair up and then cutting at a straight angle, that's what makes sense because it falls into the perfect cut and it never looks choppy. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do here. So now, because these are much longer than my layers, I'm just going to start by taking, I don't know, like just a couple inches off right off the bat, just so it's easier to cut and I don't have like these like long dangly pieces. So now what I'm going to do is take my finger and just about halfway back, I'm going to split the hair, and of course I am going to run into the extensions, and I'm going to comb it upward again. So now, since I'm working with less hair, I'm going to take my comb, I'm going to comb it up, and again follow, 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 and I'll see there at the end I can see where my natural hair is and of course where the extension is. So I'm going to keep following that, follow it, follow it, follow it until just about half an inch until my natural hair ends, and then you can see this is where the extension is. So what I'm going to do is take my scissors and cut this at a straight edge. Make sure it's completely straight. I'm just going to continue doing this. Follow it up. There you go. And you can see that's where I need to cut the extension and let it go. And there it is. So now I just want to show you the difference between this side with the layers and this side that I haven't cut yet. You can see this one tapers nicely into kind of a more natural finish, whereas this is kind of just like a straight choppy cut. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side now. And so now you can see this side isn't like that choppy cut anymore, it's more of a soft finish. And there it is, the final product. Thankfully I didn't mess up too much, but if you did want to lighten up the weight at the bottom here, you could take these pieces that I cut straight down here and do the same thing I did with the top layers. You can do the whole brushing up and cutting up there. This is just the much easier way to do it because, you know, this whole thing is more difficult, and unless you're a trained professional, it's just like a tough thing to do. So I reserved that just for like these layers right here that turned out pretty nicely. So thanks so much for watching and for being patient with me. This wasn't the easiest video to do, but I hope that these tips are useful for you and you can cut your extensions for free. So now I'm just gonna go admire my beautiful voluminous hair. So I will catch you guys next time.